Ink Ribbon. With Lara Croft being the globe-conquering adventurer that she is, it would only make sense for her to have some very powerful enemies, and boy does she ever. Throughout the franchise, we've seen a range of some amazing villains and monsters, and I thought it would be fun to go through them today. Just a nice casual top 10 video as we patiently wait for the next set of remasters to release. And a spoiler warning for those who haven't played through the games, I will be talking about some big story points, so if you want to experience those for yourself, maybe watch this video another time. So with that, here are my picks of the top 10 villains in Tomb Raider.
Number 10.
Werner von Croy. Once Lara Croft's mentor, Von Croy becomes one of the most complex adversaries, especially once he realizes that Lara is way more skilled than he is. After their fallout in Last Revelation, he succumbs to dark forces and becomes an unwilling pawn of Set. His greed and ambition ultimately lead to his downfall, making him a tragic yet formidable foe, but he does end up maintaining a relationship with Lara, as we see in the beginning of Angel of Darkness. It's rocky, but you can see the mutual respect between them is still there. And to his credit, he did lead the excavation to find Lara's body.
I don't count poisoned darts and triggered entombment, your average Charles Tea Party. I feel we should lend this some respect.
Ah, and you are the world-famous archaeologist adventurer Lara Croft, yeah? No, I am the renowned archaeologist adventurer Werner von Croy, and you will do as I say.
Number 9.
Pierre Dupont and Larson Conway. This duo of mercenaries serves as persistent thorns in Lara's side. Pierre is a cunning and opportunistic treasure hunter, while Larson is his brutish, loyal partner. They chase Lara through the first Tomb Raider and in Chronicles, but their overconfidence proves to be their undoing. In Chronicles, we see Lara deal with both of them, and should have been plenty of warning for them not to mess with her again, but later in the timeline, during the events of the first Tomb Raider game, they once again attempt to take her on, leading to their deaths. Such a shame because they served as such a good source of comic relief and helped break up the tension.
I've got yours though. Hello?
I'll heel and hide you to a barn door yet.
Of course.
You and that driveling piece of the ski-on. You want to keep it so bad, I'll harness it right up your...
Wait, we're talking about the artifact here?
Number 8.
Doppelganger. A ruthless, soulless clone of Lara, the Doppelganger, or Bacon Lara according to fans, is a terrifying reflection of our heroine. Created by Natla, she possesses all of Lara's agility and skill, but without emotion or conscience. She's a silent, relentless predator, and one of the deadliest enemies Lara has ever faced. Not only is she an enemy, but she's also a puzzle, which was a really amazing feat back on the PS1. Later in the Legend timeline, Lara faces a second doppelganger who looks much more human and, unlike the first one, actually possesses the ability to think. On top of this, she basically has superpowers, being able to move extremely fast, and if you had an Xbox 360, there was an exclusive DLC showing the full backstory of this clone. If you haven't watched the cutscenes from that version, please do, because it's probably some of the best scenes in the entire franchise.
Kill!
You have to do whatever I ask now, correct? Then tell me this. What the hell are you?
I am you, with the flaws removed.
Number 7.
Amanda Everett. A former friend turned nemesis, Amanda was left for dead in an expedition gone wrong. Surviving through dark magic, she emerges as a vengeful and power-hungry force in Legend, wielding the power of an ancient entity. Her personal grudge against Lara fuels one of the franchise's most emotional rivalries.
Make sense right this second, or I swear I'll execute you where you stand!
I told you to pull out the sword. I told you!
Where is my mother?
Avalon!
I think Amanda became a great enemy for Lara because she was smart and capable, and able to stand up to Lara, though I also think if they sat down and talked about what happened, Lara could have been able to explain things from her perspective. Who knows, maybe they'll be friends again someday. Though the alternate unused ending of Underworld says, maybe not.
Number 6.
Marco Bartoli. The leader of the Fiamma Nera cult in Tomb Raider 2, Bartoli is obsessed with obtaining the Dagger of Gian, which grants its wielder immense power. His fanatical devotion to ancient legends leads him to reckless experimentation, resulting in his own monstrous transformation. It's not every day that you see a man turn into a literal dragon complete with fire breath, but as Lara does, she's able to defeat him, take the dagger, and have a great story to tell. I do always wonder what would happen if anyone else tried stabbing themselves with that dagger though.
Number 5.
Sophia Lee. A corrupt businesswoman and scientist in Tomb Raider 3, Sophia Lee seeks immortality through genetic experimentation. Cold, calculating, and utterly ruthless, she turns to unethical means to prolong her life, turning herself into a nearly invincible foe. What's interesting about her is that even though she's a corporate woman on the outside, she shows that she's able to jump and climb as well as Lara during her boss fight, where the two race each other to the top. Unfortunately for Miss Lee, Lara found her weakness: electricity. And she still wasn't dead.
Number 4.
Dr. Mark Willard. An obsessed scientist from Tomb Raider 3, Dr. Willard seeks to harness the power of meteorite artifacts for genetic enhancement. And not just for his own genetics, but also to change the evolution of basically all creatures on Earth. We see some failed experiments of this wandering around Antarctica, and, well, it's not pretty. His relentless pursuit of evolution warps him, both figuratively and literally, into a monstrous adversary for Lara, turning him into a giant spider monster thing.
Number 3.
Peter Van Eckhart. The sinister leader of the Cabal in Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness, Van Eckhart is an alchemist with dark ambitions. His experiments and occult practices make him one of Lara's most dangerous enemies, and he seeks to awaken ancient powers beyond human comprehension. Also known as the Monstrum, he becomes a serial killer, killing people all through Paris and Prague. He used a special glove to desecrate bodies and extract elements from the victims. The victims included Von Croy, Madame Carvier, Luddick, and more. Thankfully, karma steps in and gives Eckhart what he deserves.
Corel?
Go on, kill her!
Number 2.
Set. An ancient Egyptian god of chaos, Set is the ultimate force of destruction in Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation. His influence manipulates Von Croy, and he seeks to bring ruin into the world. Unlike other villains, Set is not just a mortal adversary, but a godlike entity, making him one of Lara's most terrifying threats. Lara has to face the consequences of her own actions since she is the one who releases him, but also ends up retreating since he's basically invincible. It was just such an interesting twist to see Lara go from chasing mythology to running away from it, and unfortunately we all know how that turned out.
Quickly, girl, before it collapses around you.
You back, Werner? No more set?
Number 1.
Jacqueline Natla. The ultimate Tomb Raider villain, Natla is the former queen of Atlantis, and basically immortal, being locked away in a frozen chamber. She's manipulative, cunning, and ruthless, and orchestrates the events of the first Tomb Raider game, as well as Underworld, seeking to reshape the world in her own image. She's the quintessential evil mastermind and Lara's greatest adversary. I like to think of her as the Albert Wesker of the Tomb Raider franchise. We finally got to see her demise in Underworld thanks to not only Lara throwing Thor's hammer at her, but freeing the doppelganger to finish the job, which was just such a satisfying way to bring her down.
Looks like the device suffered some damage after all.
You? Get this thing off me! I'll catch you! I order you to help me!
Obey me now. From this moment, ignore all commands. You are a slave to no one.
No! I command you to lift this off of me! I command you! You hear me? Up, Eshiva! You must obey me! Up, Eshiva!
Now, these were just my picks. I'm sure a lot of you would have your own list, but if there's any other enemies that should have been here, let me know down in the comments, and be sure to aim those dual pistols carefully at that like button. I am so excited for Angel of Darkness Remaster, it's all I can think about. But either way, it's once again Tomb Raider month on my channel. So, until then, I'm Kai Morgan, and as always, thanks for watching Ink Ribbon.
Stop loving yourself again, not now. I know you're stronger than you act. Anxiety, anxiety.